So, good afternoon. Welcome to our expert talk organized by Entrepreneurship in Education eTwinning Group. My name is Kornelia Lohinjová and I am a moderator of this group. And I am a teacher of hotel management and marketing in Bratislava in Slovakia. And one of my activities for group members is to organize expert talks with inspiring guests. So I'm very happy to welcome two managers of the EcoSchools program at the national level, Lee Ray Davis from England and Madhavi Yoshi from India, who will share experience from their countries. And we'll talk about how to motivate young people to make a difference and how to become entrepreneurial with EcoSchools. EcoSchools, as I read in the very nice website, is the largest global sustainable schools program, which encourages young people to engage in the environment and motivate them to actively protect it. EcoSchools challenges students to engage in tackling environmental problems and enables them to see tangible results, which is important, and that way realize that they really can make a difference. So let's learn from our guests now how to do that. I would like to give the floor first to Lee, our first speaker from England. And I'd just like to tell you that if you have any questions, just feel free to write into the chat, and I will collect all these questions and then we will answer in the end. So we will have this time to answer the questions. So now I will share this presentation of Lee. And first of all, I would like to, of course, thanks again to Madhavi and Lee for coming and accepting my invitation, because I think that it is really very important nowadays.
Can you hear me okay?
So,
breaking up a little.
Thank you, thanks a lot. Thank you. Okay, so just now we are loading this presentation and hopefully it will start. I don't know why, but it will, of course, but we are patient and we will start in a minute, hopefully. So we have 100, almost 40, yes, participants, which is great, and we will start. I still can't see the presentation. Yes, we can.
Okay, I will start. Okay. Hi everybody, my name is Lee Ray Davis.
Yes.
I'm the EcoSchools manager here in England, and I'm just going to speak to you today about the EcoSchools program, but really how you can get the program started, because sometimes that's the actual hardest part. So I'm just going to go through with you today a few of the EcoSchools steps with some ideas from our own schools in England and some of the suggestions that they've been doing for the EcoSchools program. I just kind of wanted to let you know as well, because I know a lot of you on here are also teachers. I myself was a teacher for 16 years. And of those 16 years, I was also an eco coordinator for about 10 of those years. So I've been in very similar positions to yourselves as you're trying to do and set up these EcoSchools actions. So what is an EcoSchool? So an EcoSchool here, it empowers young people to take the lead on environmental education. We expect the young people in our EcoSchools to come up with the ideas, promote the ideas and run those ideas in the school, and yourselves, teachers, are the facilitators, and you're enabling the pupils and the students of any age to actually make a change. So what can we say about the EcoSchools program? In England we encourage children of all ages to take part. Some of our youngest EcoSchool members are 3 years old, some of our eldest are going on to university and college. And we also make sure that it's available to everybody as well. So a lot of our eco schools are also special educational needs schools, so it's inclusive for everybody. And we found as well that the eco schools program in itself actually increases confidence in your students, it helps with leadership skills and improves mental health and well-being, and gives students the confidence to know that they can actually make change, and that as adults and as teachers we're listening to what they would like to do. Now, what I'm going to go through now is specifically the Eco Schools programme in England. If you want to find out if Eco Schools is running the country, then I would suggest, and I will send the link later, that you log on to the Eco Schools International website and you'll be able to find out who the national operator is in your country. And I've got some links as well on this presentation just for some extra videos. So it's not just me talking. These videos and the links are at the bottom are from Eco Schools students, and they're telling you some of their experiences and what they found with the Eco Schools programme as well. So specifically in Eco Schools England at the moment, we have just over 20,000 registered Eco Schools. We've been running the Eco Schools programme now for 25 years. And it's run by Keep Britain Tidy in England. We have schools that are early year schools right through to colleges and universities. And what's great about the programme is my schools here in England are doing exactly the same 7 steps to their Green Flag Award as they are in the other 67 nations across the world where the Eco Schools programme is run. So I think in total we have about 19.5 million children registered in Eco Schools across the world, and these are just some of the stats that we have here in England, and these schools here are the ones who've given me the ideas that you will see today in the presentation. Okay, so how does the Eco Schools programme run? So it's ever so slightly different, the order of the steps in the different countries. This is the order that we have in England. And what I'm going to do today with you is go through steps 1, which is forming an eco committee, step 2, carrying out an environmental review, and step 3, writing an action plan. Those tend to be the same order in all of the 67 nations. The other steps, the Eco Schools steps, so curriculum links, informing and involving, monitoring and evaluation, and eco code, may be in a slightly different order depending on which country that you're registered in. Now, as you can see here in Eco Schools England, we don't just go straight to the green flag. What you can do is you can stop along the way. It is a journey, and apply for awards in between. So, for instance, after step 3, you would have perhaps applied for your bronze award, then you would carry out steps 4 and 5, apply for the silver award, and then eventually 6 and 7 and apply for your Eco Schools Green Flag Award. It may be slightly different in the countries where you're based. If any of you are interested as well, you can see on the bottom there, there's the link to our Eco Schools Twitter page. So you can follow us there for some more ideas as well with the Eco Schools programme. But for today, I'm going to focus on step 1, step 2 and step 3. Okay, so again, in each of the Eco Schools nations, we all have specific environmental topics that we would like our schools to work on. Here in England, these are our 10 Eco Schools topics that we ask, and children can pick that they want to work on. So the 10 topics here you can see are the same 10 topics for nearly 25 years. The newest topic that we have is the marine topic that was launched about 2 years ago now. We say marine, but actually it can work on this topic even if you're nowhere near the coastline. You might want to focus on looking at rivers and lakes and canals and so on. As you can see here from the top, when our schools work for their Eco Schools first green flag, the students pick 3 of the Eco Schools topics that they want to work on. And then every year we ask schools to renew their green flag application. And so what we've done then is we ask them to work on every single year. It's entirely up to the children, but by far the most popular Eco Schools topic we have here in England is the school grounds topic, closely followed by biodiversity, and then because we are Keep Britain Tidy, we usually find that it's topic or the waste topic that we focus on. And what I'll do later in the presentation is tell you some real life actions that our schools in England have been doing linked to the particular topics that actually might also help you generate some income from your school as well whilst trying to work for your green flag. Okay, so before we even actually start with the 7 steps, step 1, Eco Committee, what I wanted to say to you is, and you're all kind of making steps now, is you are highly likely, if not already, going to be the Eco Coordinator in the school, going to be the adult that's going to help your students and support them with the Eco Schools programme. Here in England, we have, it's actually a voluntary programme. You do not have to be a registered Eco School. It's not compulsory and it isn't government funded. So the 20,000 registered schools that we have are all voluntary schools. And also, unfortunately, environmental education isn't compulsory in our English national curriculum. So what we would suggest that we do is that we've created sets of resources to help an Eco Coordinator set up the Eco Schools programme in their country. Oh, there's a few messages. Can people not hear me clearly? Is it breaking up? Is everyone okay? Shall I carry on? Everyone can hear me okay? Okay, okay. Oh, some can and some can't. Okay.
Some people.
I will carry on.
Some people just say that sometimes. So maybe.
Pardon?
Maybe if you switch off your camera, that it could help. Maybe just try that. To switch off your video or your camera.
Is everything. If you,
Okay, so hopefully you'll come back.
okay.
Because now we can't hear. Okay, so now.
Sound a little better now.
Yes, now you can just go. Okay, good.
Okay,
good, we can hear now.
Be a little bit better.
Just
now.
You can go.
I will carry on.
Yeah.
What I will do, however, is everything that I'm going through is based on this presentation. I will send the Oh, right, okay, good. So I will send, obviously, this presentation out, and then what we will do is, obviously, we'll follow through from there. If you missed anything at the beginning, apologies. Hopefully everything should be straightforward. If there's any questions from any beginning that you might have missed, please just send me some messages on here. Apologies, I'm not quite sure what's happening with the sound here. It seems some people can hear me very clearly and some can't. I will carry on regardless, and hopefully that will help. So as I was saying before, what we have here in Eco Schools England is we have these pre-steps to help schools with their Eco Schools work and to help get that started. And these vary from things like resources the teachers can share with their colleagues, to also letters that the teachers can send home to families, local communities and local businesses. And then what they're able to do from there is maybe assess if there's any parents or local organisations who may be able to help with the Eco Schools work. What we also have as well to help the teachers are some election materials in order to help your school vote and pick your Eco Committee members. And then we also have as well a timeline for the Eco Schools Awards. And one of the things that we also suggest to our teachers and we send through to them is a notice board that has kind of a plan of where they could set things up, classrooms that they might want to use as a base, and suggestions for where they can do some work on school grounds. This is good. Lots of people are saying they can hear me now. That's a bit better. I will carry on. Apologies for this. Okay, so our first step for eco schools is forming an eco committee. Now, what you have on this slide here, these are our criteria for forming an eco committee in England. And as you can see, some of them are actually optional if you're applying for your first green flag, because we understand that it's sometimes difficult when you're new to the programme to try and get lots of people involved. So you can see we have two specific options that you don't necessarily have to have everybody from every year group involved in your eco committee, and that it's very hard sometimes to get head teachers and principals on your eco committee when you're first starting. So these are our specific criteria for an Eco Schools England, but again they might be ever so slightly different depending in which nation that your Eco Schools is based. But these are the ones that are the general ones that we tend to follow through. Now, what I've done for the purpose of this presentation today is asked our eco committee members and eco coordinators who have been with us for many years to give me some hints and tips and things that have worked well for them when they're setting up the eco committee. So this here is a list of ideas from teachers like yourselves who have all been in a similar position, were very keen to make a difference, and these are the hints and tips from them. So what they've said first of all is please decide how you would like your students to join the eco committee. Are they going to be voted in by their peers? Are they going to be picked by other teachers? Or are you just going to welcome everybody into your eco committee, as many people as they want to join? I personally started with and went to the existing school council and asked and said that I would like to start an eco group, and if any of them would like to come along to an additional meeting, that was a way that we could start it up, and that seemed to work quite well if you already have a school council. Another thing as well we find in schools is that every school year what they try to do is re-elect new eco committee members. Now that might be a school policy, however we recommend and our teachers recommend not re-electing new people every year, keeping the existing members and inviting new people to join, so your eco committee grows every term and every year and becomes larger, and then actually it's easier to carry out the eco schools work. And eventually what you will find is you will get some eco committee, what we call elders, who are children who might been doing the eco schools work for maybe 6 years in that particular school, and actually what they will do is they might mentor some of the younger new members of the eco committee as well and give them some of their experience. And another big one for us in England that helps with eco committees is a bit of sibling rivalry. So if you have brothers and sisters within a school, what we tend to find is they both like to be on the eco committee. They don't like to feel left out. Other specific things as well which work very well with the children in an eco committee, and this can be from nursery, preschool level through to high school and colleges, is to assign the children, the students, specific roles, such as the chairperson, even the eco schools accountant, the marketing team, and it's the children's job to make sure that perhaps that other people in the school are aware of the work that's going on. And what some teachers have done is produced a job skills list for those children and even made them some badges as well that they can wear. So not only are they a member of the eco committee, but they might have a specific job within the eco committee as well. And also as well, when you're starting your eco committee, it's sometimes hard to get the principals and external guests to come to every meeting. So what some schools do is they invite maybe a month, with a month's notice, the principal of the school, local businesses, maybe some parents to come in and attend an eco committee meeting and find out what's going on within the school. And then also in some cases, the Eco Committee have actually interviewed the adult that has come in and asked them some questions about how that particular adult could maybe help with their Eco Schools work. And finally, the last piece of advice from our teachers for Eco Committee is plan everything in advance. Try and set yourself a room or some space within your school that can be your base for your Eco Schools work, so you don't have to cancel meetings, and that every week the children know exactly when the meeting will be and where the meeting will be as well. Okay, so moving on to the next step, which is step 2, the environmental review. Now, this is compulsory. We ask all of the 10 Eco Schools topics to be reviewed at the start of the Eco Schools programme. Now, what you will find when you register within your country is that each country will have their own version of an environmental review that you can use. What we do in England is we have 3 different environmental reviews. One that is suitable for children aged maybe 3 to 5, one for 6 to 12-year-olds, and then one for 13-year-olds to 18-year-olds with slightly more detail. However, if they are an eco school that has been active for many years and they have younger children and they feel able, there is possible for them to use the more advanced environmental review. We do ask that the environmental review is carried out by the students, and where possible, a copy of that environmental review is posted on a notice board somewhere or shared with the rest of the school so they know what some of the results are. And what we also recommend is that an environmental review is carried out as many times as possible. You must do it for the start of each of your Eco Schools renewals. But then by renewing it several times, it allows the children to see if their work has changed. And again here on the bottom, there is a link to our website with some of our children actually telling you how they've carried out an environmental review and what they've found about it. Again, some hints and tips about how to carry out your environmental review. What you might want to do is get some of those Eco Committee mentors, the ones we mentioned that have been on for a long time, to work with the younger children and help them carry out the environmental review together. You might also want to divide the environmental review up into different topics, and you might give certain children a specific topic to work on. Some of you might have schools that are based on different sites, so if possible, maybe carry out the environmental review at different sites and then compare the results. Is one of the sites more environmental than the others? And then also, this is something that's happened certainly while we've had the school closures here in England, is that they have taken the environmental review and started doing it at home as well. And the Eco Committee members have gone home, and as Eco Schools homework perhaps, they've done the environmental review of their own homes with their parents, and it's a great way to spread the word about what you're trying to do within your school as well. And then finally, what we also say if you're starting the Eco Schools programme is you might have done your environmental review and found something like that your school was underperforming on energy or transport. However, it's going to be very, very hard for your children to actually do anything, but they might be very, very interested in biodiversity and school grounds. What we would always say is that it's not necessarily the worst topic result that we suggest you work on. Perhaps pick the one that students found the most interesting, even if it's one that they might have scored higher on. Once you've got an established Eco Committee and you've worked through some of the steps, then you might want to go back and tackle some of the harder subjects where your scores were slightly lower. Okay, so the next step is the Eco Schools action plan. So what I've done here is, rather than list the criteria for this are very simple. If you are a first green flag school in England, we ask you to work on 3 of the 10 topics. If you are a renewal school, we ask you to work on 5. We will never, ever, ever say that a school's action towards one of the topics isn't good enough. any small action is better than no action at all. So what I've got now over the following 2 slides are some ideas for actions that your students could do that could also possibly help generate some income for your school as well. So again, all of these have been tried and tested by our schools. They are all things that have been carried out. Some of them I've actually carried out with my own students as well in the past. And they're just a kind of a list of different ideas. There may be things on here that might or might not work for you. But again, if you would like to follow EcoSchools England on our social media, we're always sharing ideas and actions for the different topics. So some of the ideas then that our schools have asked me to share with you. Recycling schemes. Now, we probably are all doing this as well, but what you find, or we have here in England, is some schools can make money from recycling, so collecting crisp packets and getting people to come in and collect them. They get weighed and the children will actually get some income from this as well. We have similar things with batteries and with clothing, and that's a nice way for the children to work on the waste topic, to encourage recycling, but to also maybe generate some income for their school as well. Another one that we have is we actually sometimes, if the Eco Committee have a little spare pot of income, and I know it's very hard sometimes to have spare income in our schools, but if you can, then maybe purchase in bulk some environmental products, or contact local businesses, ask them if they would like to donate some environmental products, and then your Eco Committee set up an eco stall where they can sell these products at an increased price to either the local community or to parents or to other students. And that's again just another way that they can generate some income. What you could do if you're working on the school grounds topics and your children are growing their own fruit and veg and resource and herbs, is they might actually be growing too many to give out for free to the schools. So some of our schools will go to local farmers markets and actually sell their produce to local shops. And just near me, one of our Green Flag Eco schools, unfortunately obviously is closed at the moment. They had lots and lots of strawberries, lots and lots of raspberries, and so they sold them to a local community scheme and made some income from them. Otherwise they just wouldn't have been eaten because there weren't enough people in the school. What you could also do, and this helps raise awareness of your school and what you're doing, is write to the local press if possible and ask them if they will do a story on your eco school and the work you're doing. You could be very sneaky as well and ask if anybody would like to make donations to your school. Now, that doesn't have to be necessarily cash donations. What a lot of our schools ask for are plants or gardening equipment, or maybe environmental textbooks and environmental resources, or outdoor clothing as well. So that's another way to get resources to help you with eco schools. A great one that we have is to sell eco art. So children might have collected plastic wrappers, lids, and then what they can do is they can use these to create some art sculptures, which they could maybe then sell on at school events or in the local community. This one is becoming more and more popular. In England, some of our school grounds are very, very large, and sometimes they're a bit too big for young children to maintain and manage. So instead what they do is they invite local beekeepers and local gardeners to come and use some of the school grounds maybe at weekend. But what the local beekeepers and the local gardeners have to do is pay the Eco Committee rent. And the children actually decide on how much their plot of land is worth. Now again, it might be that they don't necessarily pay them back money. It could be that if they're growing things, then they give them and they donate them to the school. We have a particular school at the moment who invited local beekeepers to come in, and the local beekeepers are actually then sharing the honey with the children and the families of the children that are on the Eco Committee as well, and they have their own Eco Schools honey. Contact local businesses sometimes to see if they will just support you. There might be a local company who might want to do something. They might want to donate time as well. They might want to come into your school and help the school children build a greenhouse out of plastic bottles. But shout out to a local business, do some posters and see if somebody can come in and help with the work as well. And finally, what we have in England is, unfortunately, we have to charge for our green flag because we're not government funded. And so a lot of schools will have a green flag donation day, and where they might ask for all of the children in the school to come in dressed completely from head to toe in green. And what they would then do is maybe donate however much is suitable when they come into school towards the green flag donation. So that's another one that works quite well. And seeing everybody coming in dressed in green is a wonderful way to kind of promote the Eco Schools work that you're doing. Another thing that you could do as well is create holiday crafts. This is becoming more and more popular. So here in England, at Christmas time and at Easter time, a lot of schools will have their own fairs and their school fairs. What the Eco Committee are doing, a bit like the Eco Arts, is they're making their own Eco Schools resources. They're making kind of pencil holders, they're making pencil cases and all sorts of different things. They might be making Christmas decorations out of recycled materials, which again, they could sell to parents or they could sell to the local community. In England here as well, one of the things you can do is we have local authorities, local governments. Every single one of those, we've got about 150 in England, have different pots of money that occasionally become available to schools for even simple things. For my own pupils, there was pots of money and we could go and buy bulbs for our school grounds. So it's worth just shouting out and trying to find, if you've got a local government contact, there might be a pot of money available that you can apply for. Now, don't be disheartened if there isn't to begin with. I was very persistent and every month would write to the local government official and say, is there some money that I can have? Most times I was told no, but occasionally there was some money available. Okay, this one is a new one that a few schools have been telling us, is there is a money jars, and what they were asking children to do is collect pennies. So we have 1p's, 2p's, spare copper and change that they might have found, and bring them into school and have an Eco Schools penny jar at the entrance to the school where they could just donate. Now obviously that isn't a huge amount of income coming in, but what we found certainly with the younger children is that they could then count the money, and they were using it in maths to add up how much money they were raising for Eco Schools. Oh, somebody's mentioned on here, are you sure that crafts could be sold in local shops? Yes, in England some schools are able to. They went into the local shops and asked if they'd be happy to sell the school produce. Some shops will say no. What some schools had done is created a little stall outside their school gates and were selling them to parents as they were coming to pick children to and from school. So that's one you'd need to go and speak to the local shops and see if they would be interested. And of course, there's always things, if you're going to work on the energy topic or the water topic, if you're doing things to save energy or save water, then of course you're going to be saving money on the school utility bills, which you can then maybe put back into your Eco Schools work. Some schools, if they're not selling fruit and vegetables, have also been selling flowers that they've grown in the school grounds. One particular school that we spoke to was selling herbs, and the children would sell a kind of a bouquet of herbs with a recipe card for how those herbs could be used within the cooking, and those were things that they kind of were giving to the local community. Trash bans. Some schools have been making musical instruments out of rubbish, so it might be things like they had plastic bottles that were using to make drums, and then what they were doing is they were playing music at local festivals and things like that, and again asking for donations from the music that they were doing. Here in England, we have something called our Relove schemes. Now, Relove is when children will donate clothing items, books, electrical equipment that they no longer need at home, and they might donate these to other schools or other people within their schools, or maybe even the local community or local care homes. I'm noticing here some of you are putting about special, you might need special permission. Yes, of course, you would have to. Any of these where you're going somewhere to sell these products, you're obviously going to have to find out, first of all, if you've got permission to do this. Okie dokie. Another one, you might have sponsored sporting events, because obviously healthy living is one of our Eco Schools topics. I'm not sure if people might have heard of this idea of plogging. Plogging is when you can go out litter picking, but whilst you're litter picking, you're also running. So some of our schools have been doing sponsored plogs, where they might be running around the school grounds or running in the local community, and they're actually picking up litter at the same time. And for every piece of litter that they pick up, or every bag that they might collect, they will get a donation from parents or things like that for the work that they've done. Yes, somebody's mentioned birdhouses. They're a great one as well, with recycled materials and perfect for school grounds as well. And my last one, thank you for listening and putting up with the sound. My last idea that we've had with our schools is, where possible, try and work with a neighbouring school. If you know they're also working towards eco schools, it's always much easier to try and work with another neighbouring school if possible. We find in England that a lot of our primary first year schools might also work with their neighbouring high school, because together they're probably a little bit stronger, they've got more contacts and they can have more of an impact. And also one of our eco school steps is informing and involving. And what you might find, because we certainly have here in England, is a set of primary school students then go on to the high school, the big school, and they want to carry on to continuing doing the work that they're doing, and so they might then work together on a joint project. So those are all of my ideas, and I just wanted to kind of end on this lovely story here. Is a lot of you might be at the start of your Eco Schools journey, and that's why you're listening today. I just wanted to show you this. This year, or just last year just gone, we celebrated the 25th anniversary of Eco Schools in England. And this here is myself with the very first Green Flag Eco School from England. And the gentleman I'm stood with there has been the same eco coordinator at this school since 1994. He is still the same eco coordinator. On the left-hand side there, you can see a lady with a green dress. That is Charlie. She was on the very first ever eco committee at this school, and is now a teacher at this school, stood there with a current eco committee member. So when you join the Eco Schools programme, that's it, it's for life. These ideas and these actions you can continue with, and you can adapt and change as you go through. There is, that's just come up on the bottom, is a link there to all our award-winning eco schools who've been doing projects with us over the past 25 years. If you want to go and follow this link, we have literally hundreds of ideas of things that you can do for the different eco schools programs. And of course, anything that you do, please share with us, let us know. It's great to see everybody doing the same actions. We're all roughly doing the same 7 steps. It's part of a big kind of Eco Schools family. And that's it. I can see there's some questions coming through. I believe we're going to maybe collate questions and have a look at them later. And that's it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for putting up with my bad sound quality at the start. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for this. It was really fantastic, as you can see in the chat. So there are no questions because you were able to answer even the questions during your presentation. So thanks a lot for that. I am really impressed by this. And what I particularly like is Trash Band. So it's interesting. So many thanks for that. And now we will go to India. So, Madhavi, are you ready to? I will stop sharing this presentation and I will upload yours so that we can start now to have a look at India Eco Schools. So I can hear an echo, but so Madhavi, are you ready now? So I give the floor to Madhavi, and many thanks for joining us, even though it's already night in India, and still you are with us. So, can you hear me? Now I can't hear.
I think we need to just...
Madhavi, are you there? Good, great, good. Yes. So thank you. Now we are very curious about your experience and presentation about India Eco Schools. After we had England, so soon we will have this presentation, hopefully.
By the time the presentation gets loaded, just let me say hello and good evening from India. Am I audible to everybody?
Yes, yes, now that's it. Now we have presentation and good. So I just want to remind all of you that I will make the recordings of this webinar will be in eTwinning group. Now, Madhavi, the floor is yours.
Yeah. Okay. Just say if people can't hear me clearly. Am I audible? Just say.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Cornelia.
But not now.
Okay, I will be speaking about. Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, good.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Yes.
Hello? 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 Is it clear now? Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
Raju,
Yes, everything is okay.
program.
Yes.
India, and Ali has already spoken about the. Okay. So. Okay. Thank you so much. So the program in India is offered to schools in the state, national and international boards. So we have different kinds of boards that offer the school education in the formal sense, and the Eco Schools program is offered to all these different kinds of schools, both run by government as well as private trusts. So it's a large country which has a large number of schools. We're trying to reach a variety of schools just to basically understand how we can engage the teachers and students in those schools in environmental education. We started our program about a few years ago, and we work with grades 1 to 5, age 6 to 10 years, and this year on we will be also working with students from grade 6 to 8, focusing on a few themes which I will come to in the next few slides. So this is a picture of our Eco Schools committee. members with the Eco Schools logo in their school. So we have, as of now, 72 schools. We have trained 359 teachers, and there is the Green Flag Award, which the schools get, and that 27 schools have got it. And we also have something called the Handprint Award. So the way England was saying, Lee was saying, talking about the bronze and silver, we have a Handprint Award, which the schools get. These are the 5 themes. We work with the schools on biodiversity, energy, water, healthy living, waste. And now we also have new themes that are coming in, which will be introduced in the Eco Schools program, which are to do with road safety and also with climate change. So these are the 2 areas where we'll be adding, and some others might get added as the schools get interested. So where you see this handprint, and this is a symbol of basically you're familiar with the footprint, so which means that the amount of resources one utilizes and on this earth. And the handprint was given to us by a school child who worked with us on environmental education programs, and she said that why should we just talk about how much resources have we used? Why can't we talk about what is it that we can do to be able to take action to save these resources? And that's where she gave us the handprint, and this was launched at the UNESCO International World Conference and has been adopted by many countries across the world, basically to signify a positive action towards sustainability. So we give the handprint flag of this color to schools who complete a theme during a year. So as Lee said, that it's important that there is an action, and this encourages the schools to actually recognize what they are doing towards a positive action towards the environment. So these are the 5 themes that we are working with, and the 5 colors. So the evaluation in terms of how the schools are doing, how do we certify them, is through these 2 flags that we give. The first one is the handprint flag, which is awarded to schools upon successfully implementing one theme, any of the themes. And as many themes as they complete, they get that many handprint flags. And when they achieve 3 handprint flags, they get an International Green Flag Award. And in addition, after they finish they complete 3 handprint flags, they have to achieve 2 or 3 more handprint flags to get the other Green Flag Award. I'm just going to stop sharing my webcam. Okay. So what the handprint flags we have, we say that they are as messengers of good practices, and these are drawing inspiration from the Buddhist philosophy of the prayer flags. So it really brings a lot of positive energy. And what we do also is that the students personalize their handprint flags with their own handprints and their own messages. These flags are then put up by them in their school when they go back to the school after winning them. So we have, as an Eco Schools program, some of the actions that are important for the schools to take include taking actions that reduce consumption in the school. They are involved in taking actions that support resilience of the earth systems. They look at taking actions for waste minimization, also about supporting sustainability in terms of products and services. As a consumer, making those decisions in terms of what can we buy, what can we not buy. Increasing awareness of action that support sustainability. So these are some of the key areas that the EcoSchools India program focuses on. So some of the actions, the activities that they do, I'm so sorry for this, it says audits on top, it's not visible, the title, but the review, the environmental review that they do, as it's an important aspect of understanding what the issues or what the situation of a particular theme is in their school, but that besides understanding the situation, I think what a child learns is to plan and develop tools for investigation. It's an important life skill that they get out of this. Somebody is saying she cannot see a presentation. Cornelia, I think the presentation is not visible to some people. I can see it.
Everything is good, no problem. We can see.
Okay, thank you.
Don't worry, just...
Yeah. I was looking at the chat as well. So the set of skills here, they also learn how to investigate an issue, observe, carry out measurements. So what you see here is they're actually measuring the amount of litter that they have collected on their campus. And the graphs also looking at analyzing and sharing of data. And this is again linking to the curriculum of their classes. For instance, a math class can easily get connected to this. So the teachers are help us and we have these lesson plans for the EcoSchools, which again have activities and interesting ways in which the teachers can connect the various themes to the curriculum. The other important aspect the students need to understand is that the knowledge is not just from their teachers or their textbooks, but it comes from different ways. And they actively are encouraged to engage with the school gardeners or the staff who is the support staff in the school, and to learn from them in terms of their own work and engage with them on those issues. So a lot of interesting interactions happen, especially say if a gardener can tell them about the local seed varieties or the plant varieties and how do you do composting. So a lot of ingrained knowledge comes from these caretakers who are actually practitioners in the school. I'm really sorry about the mess the slides are in, but this is awareness and outreach that they carry out as part of the Inform and Involve, that is one of the steps of the EcoSchools. And this encourages them to not just work to share what they have learned and spread the message in their own school, but also, as you can see, they have gone out into the community and through street plays and performances and interesting ways that they are able to engage with the community. Again, they are learning to be able to take communication as a way of engaging with other people and learning ways and methods of and even builds confidence in them when they actually are able to engage with other people. Communicating with others and actually convincing them in terms of the eco committees have been interacting with various stakeholders about alternatives to single-use plastics. So this is a shopkeeper with whom this girl you see is actually talking to him about changing the single-use plastic bags to actually looking at ways in which they can give out cloth bags or any other material which is more eco-friendly. So many of these eco committees we go beyond their school and work with the other stakeholders, engage with the other stakeholders. They've also been carrying out rallies to spread the message to their school, and here the teachers, the parents, the eco committee members, they're all involved in doing this. Action projects in the school which involve, this is based on the action plan. They would have looked at also what do we do in case they decide on a waste theme, and they have been working on aspects like segregating waste at source, and also measuring and going through all the 7 steps to actually creating awareness about and taking action and forming an eco code in their school about the need for and about segregation of waste, and that the schools pledge to segregate waste at source and manage the waste responsibly. They also undertake cleanliness drives at various places, which are again connected to action, and it's not just cleanliness drives per se, but also linked with the, say, the local government or the local, some of the schools coming together and kind of carrying out such events. Using waste as a resource, creating a lot of things, interesting products out of waste, including using old cloth materials to create cloth bags and scarves, and using bottles as planters, and a number of different things. The effort here is to not create waste out of waste, but using waste as a resource, and which can be actually recycled and reused. So this is learning how to recycle paper in school. So these are older students who can actually get involved in this, but also very young students also get have a great time doing it by themselves. During the COVID-19, when the schools were closed, we had conducted online campaigns, and these were videos. So we had one on washing your hands, specifically for kids to send us videos, and where they were washing their hands and sharing a message. And we had over about 100 videos that came to us from very little kids who were actually demonstrating how they were washing hands and what is the correct way to wash hands to not get infected. Similarly, there were other things, other campaigns focused on water, saving water, looking at a kitchen garden, and so on. They have been doing projects like maintaining school and home gardens, which again, they understand the importance of nurturing plants, and also then they do this at home as well. So it doesn't just remain in the school, but also they take it home. Again, composting at school and at home, various sizes and shapes of the composting pits and drums and a small container, and all of this. As I mentioned, they take a pledge for handprint action, and this is all the students and the teachers and the school, because when we initiate the program in the school, it is not just with the teacher and the students, but it is to involve the entire school through the management and the principal. That the training involves these people as well, the first interaction, and that's the way we try and engage the entire school in the process. Though the eco school focuses on certain classes, but it does involve the entire school. So that was from me, and thank you. And these are some of the links for you to sign up and look at. This is from Eco Schools India. Good night. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Questions, please.
Thank you. It was perfect. Really great job. It was really nice to see so little children to be so enthusiastic. This is what we need now. Really, it's fantastic to see this. I'd like to ask you for the participants any questions so that we can. Questions? I can't see any. Yes, amazing enthusiasm. Yes, that's it. And I already have the link to this YouTube channel. So then I will upload it to this Entrepreneurship in Education e-twinning group. So that we can see it and really get inspired, because Lee also told us in a chat that they were fantastic videos. So we will share. So many thanks to both of you. It was something that we really need now. Yes, when if not now, and who if not we, teachers and students. So we need to save our planet, yes. So that's why this was very important for us and very useful and inspiring. And yes, I took some screenshots of this presentation. I'm going to share these on Twitter and the social media, so that other teachers can also see what you do, all these amazing ideas. So many thanks, and it's really great that you work with community, yes, parents and other stakeholders. This is something that we need, because yes, together we can. Of course, we can make a difference, but together it's much better. So many thanks for all this. Thank you, and thank you, dear participant, that you spent time with us. And I just hope that I will share this link that I found about eco schools. So I hope that more and more schools will join this great movement, this eco schools community. So thank you, and for Madhavi, have a good night, sleep well, many thanks for this, and for all of us, have a great evening.
Thank you so much. Good night.
Yes, good night for you, and nice evening to all of us. Great, thank you.